Welcome to this episode of our book read through of Elon Musk, Woke Messiah by Albion. We left off on this page. And it starts with a Bertrand Russell quote that reads, "A drop of water is not immortal. It can be resolved into oxygen and hydrogen. If, therefore, a drop of water were to maintain that it had a quality of aqueousness, which would survive its dissolution, we should be inclined to be skeptical. In like manner, we know that the brain is not immortal." So if you break people down, they're just a bunch of like atoms and particles, right? So at what point do you stop being human? If I'm reading that correctly, which I'm probably not. You cut off an arm or a leg, you're still human. Cut off the head, I think the brain has a lot to do with us thinking something is human. It's in this perspective, right? How do we see ourselves, and how accurate is that, maybe? Then we have the LBM blurb from 2066 that reads, "People are perfectly logical creatures, absolutely determined in every way. Like the animals that surround them, they simply react instantly. Like the most precise laws of science, they never waver. People are motivated by logical reasons. They move with purpose, reasons others may not understand, unable to identify the cause. Reasons that they may not understand themselves, oblivious to nature. Still, there's a very exact reason for our behaviors. Whether consciously or unconsciously decided, we perform without any chaos. We live to fulfill our human nature, our dire cause, deliberate and selfish, pleasure-seeking and allergic to all pain." And then in bold it says, "Deliberate and selfish, pleasure-seeking and allergic to all pain." Logical creatures are deliberate and selfish, pleasure-seeking and allergic to all pain. I think this kind of goes back to his determination kind of thesis. Sounds like he's saying we are determined. And even though we don't see ourselves that way or experience the world that way, that doesn't mean it's false. And it's hard to argue for or against just because you don't have all of the information available to you, but it's an interesting conversation. Below that it says, "On Mars, Tesla bots become the main import after initial colonization. Logistically, more can be sent. They don't need air or nourishment. They can work 24 hours a day and can be modified to perform a number of different tasks." That's interesting. So once we get on Mars, once we have a few people there, logistically, probably doesn't make sense. I mean, depending on how advanced they are, I guess, what they can do. Interesting. Next page, it says, "What percentage of people have a net negative effect on humanity as a whole?" Probably depends on who you ask. In parentheses, it says 12%. Ugh. Is that high or low? I guess if you look at the other way, does that mean 88% have a net positive effect? Or are a lot of them like neutral? We have an LBM blurb from 2080. And it says, "I walked the streets the way I wanted to walk. I talked to others the way I wanted to talk. I dressed my frame the way I wanted to dress. I thought about ideas the way I wanted to think. I questioned absolutely everything. Nothing was taken faithfully as true. The world had to prove and validate itself to me. Any inconsistencies were scrutinized and judged harshly and without remorse. I uncaged my consciousness, free to explore the outermost boundaries. I challenged society, its laws, its morals, its social constructions. I became a free thinker, a creative and unique animal." And in bold it reads, "I uncaged my consciousness, free to explore the outermost boundaries, a creative and unique animal." And this is in 2080, towards the end. you're gonna do it at the end, because the consequences are probably less severe, maybe. Huh. Seems like he tried to do this throughout this whole experience, though, to some degree. We have Elon Musk quote that reads, "I think most of the important stuff on the internet has been built. There will be continued innovation for sure, but the great problems of the internet have essentially been solved." Elon Musk. Yeah. Yeah, that seems like it was a huge innovation. Next page, we have a Bertrand Russell quote that reads, "Science tells us what we can know, but what we can know is little. And if we forget how much we cannot know, we become insensitive to many things of great importance." Yeah, just hammering away at how ignorant we are and how important it is to understand that. LBM Blurb 2067 reads, "You can consciously live in the past, present, or future. Most live in a blend and mixture of the three. Live in the past, events long written. Contemplate your regrets, contemplate your successes. Nothing but deliberate contemplation. Live in the future, events not yet touched by time. Contemplate your fears, contemplate your hopes. Nothing but deliberate contemplation. Live in the present, events devoid of time's ignorant illusions. Shun deliberation and thought, react and survive, experience and live. Is one better or just different?" And then in bold it says, "You can consciously shun deliberation and thought, react and survive, experience and live." Yeah, so I think that's another probably very human thing, is our ability to ponder longer timelines. And then when you can do that, where is your mindset? Are you thinking more about the past, more about the future, more about the present? It's probably significant to some degree, as far as dictating what kind of mindset you have, how that affects your decision making and actions. Below that says, "Hey Elon, if you could go forward in time, how far would you go?" Yeah. How far would you go? Could you go too far and go to a point where you don't understand anything? Good question. Then we have a heading that says, "On Mars. In 2049, Elon launches a campaign to raise funds to expedite Mars colonization. People can remotely access a Tesla bot for an hourly fee and explore Mars and interact with Martians." The campaign is a huge success, and live streaming of these experiences quickly becomes the most viewed content online. And then in parentheses it says, "Epic." Whoa, that would be cool. So basically what are you doing? You're accessing a Tesla bot on Mars, and I guess being able to see what it sees and manipulate it. So basically you become the mind of the Tesla bot. That'd be pretty cool. And these Martians, those are just people living there, right? They aren't like aliens, I'm assuming. That would be cool. I'd watch that. Let's see, below that says, "As the Boring Company continues to dig tunnels, it expands its operation to include mining projects and affordable underground homes. Underground homes become so popular that 80% of all new homes built in 2061 are underground." Whoa. It's kind of interesting. Cool. Then we have a Bertrand Russell quote that says, "Stupidity and unconscious bias often work more damage than venality." Is that like something purposely done bad, maybe? Stupidity and unconscious bias. Yeah, I mean, I think you can have the best intentions and still think, say, and do some pretty damaging things. But in the end, it feels like purposely doing something with bad intentions is worse, right? but maybe it's just showing how little, a lot of what we do and say is dictated unconsciously or ignorantly. And that is where we will end this episode. Join us for the next episode, and until then, have a great day.